2. Representative Ward.
Speaker, I rise with reservation
Please proceed with reservations.
and with gratitude that we have the governor's cabinet here. I think that's a great honor to be here. Even though I was looking earlier that the Kapuna were here, so as they stare at us, the Kapuna, because of the taxes and the pensions that's in here, it's going to balance out, but they left, and now we've got the governor's cabinet. I have reservations because reservations means we have questions about a bill or about a policy or about anything that we do here. And I agree with the chair of finance, who very eloquently said, the minority has a role, it has a way of putting iron against iron, and my comments as I speak are for that very purpose. But I think the reality check is not whether there's a free lunch or not, Mr. Speaker. It's whether the people of Hawaii can afford lunch, can feed and house and take care of themselves, given the burdens that we're shifting from government to them, from the public sector to the private sector. So question number one is, can our community afford this budget? Can we afford it given what is going on right now with our citizens? Gasoline prices, as already mentioned, are probably going to reach $4.50 soon, maybe $5. Registration and the other fees that is in this bill, weight taxes, double the cost of driving on the highway. Can we afford this budget when people are using their credit card more and more? Right now we're, I think, second in the nation in terms of credit card usage. Can we afford this when we are already the highest taxed state in the nation? We're already paying the highest tax. This budget bumps them up again. Again, can we afford it when our businesses are shedding employees or to some degree stabilizing them? But with the Council of Revenues last week, it looks like, and because of Japan, this business community is going to get a hit again. And yesterday, some of us were in the Chamber of Commerce Small Business Caucus community, and there was very openly, for the first time ever, an open discussion of an increase in the GT tax. And I know that those ladies and gentlemen from the governor's office know that there was a promise made to the people of Hawaii about not increasing the GT tax. But if you heard the discussion from some senators and some representatives yesterday, it's like that's coming closer to reality, contrary to what heretofore has been spoken. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm very, very concerned about the way that we're talking about not only the tax increases in here, but the way we're slowly sliding into a higher taxed, first in the nation taxed state. As mentioned earlier, Japan is going to have a big impact upon us. Earlier I introduced my intern from Japan. He noted in his preparations for my introducing him that batteries in Tokyo, 4 AA cell batteries cost $280 in Tokyo right now. 4 little batteries, which we pay a couple bucks for, cost $280 in Tokyo. That's why he said the appeal for batteries. He also said, and I didn't have a chance to read it, that the damage so far is estimated at 8,606 people missing or dead, and $118 billion of property losses. Why am I saying this? Because this budget is based upon rating the Hurricane Relief Fund. If what we've got left, and we ever have, thank God we haven't, a hurricane or a tsunami, it's going to give us $700 million.
Speaker, point of order. Representative Oshiro.
I'm too obtuse, I think.
I've been very patient, but this bill has nothing to do with the Hurricane Relief Fund.
Thank you very much. Representative Ward, could you please confine
Mr. Speaker,
the comments to the
I don't
bill?
want to spend my speech retorting that, but when you have a budget, regardless of where the source of it comes, part of the balance of this budget is taking money from the Hurricane Relief Fund. I mean, if that's not true, then I should sit down. But if that's true, I think we need a better explanation than what was just given. Having said that, the tax increases, the amount of money that we're building on top of already a highly taxed state is reason for consternation. And the reason for consternation is that so far, heretofore, we have a budget that balances for 3 years. The 6-year constitutional budget we have not been given yet from the administration. Yes, we had one, but that was the Lingo Iona budget. February 22nd, we had the other budget, but if we're going to balance the budget and really speak to a budget, which we know for sure balances, we need a 6-year plan. And I appealed to the chair of finance to ask the administration, where is the 6-year balanced budget that the HRS 37/69 calls for? Finally, Mr. Speaker, the last question that with
Representative
reservations.
Ching.
Excuse me, I yield my time, Mr.
So,
Speaker.
so ordered.
Thank you, Representative Ching. Mr. Speaker, the last question that reservations give rise to is one I ask myself, I ask the Minority Caucus. Okay, what are you guys going to do? Put up or shut up? What's your solution? Mr. Speaker, the solution that we gave last year as an alternative budget, which was online, which was interactive, a spreadsheet where people chose what their revenues were, what their expenses were. We submitted, contrary to many people on this floor or in the Senate who said, you've got to do a GT tax increase. We showed that that was not necessary. So, Mr. Speaker, our contribution is coming. We have a website called Hawaii State Budget Online, which is under construction. I repeat, under construction, because unfortunately we don't have 20 people to help us. We have a small crew, but very committed to make sure that the people of Hawaii have an alternative to the many taxes that are going to be increased. And before any of these things are on solid ground, they need to be discerned very, very closely. Having said that, those are my reservations, and those are where I hope at the day's end we will say we did what we had to do, and in the end, the thinking that we have about short-range balanced budget will start looking at a vision and a growth and a building and a growing of the economy, because if the pie stays the same, it's not only going to be, as the previous speaker said, year after year, it's going to be decade after decade. We got to start in speaking outward and with a vision for growing the economy and having a win-win instead of a who's going to get one side of the sheet pulled from their toes on one side of the bed. For those reasons, Mr. Speaker, I vote with reservations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there